What's up, guys? It's Devilor here, and this is the part two, well, quote unquote part two of my Terraria Calamity Mode guide. Well, guide, quote unquote. So today we're gonna take down a bunch of different bosses, and it's gonna be fun. So as you can see, I have unequipped quite a few of my accessories and things because I don't want to instantly kill every single boss. So, yeah. But anyway, this mod that I'm using right now is called the Boss Checklist mod. Basically, it just lists all the bosses and it is compatible with Calamity. So, you may see that the Desert Scourge, the first, well, quote unquote, the first Calamity boss is the second boss that you should fight. I'm going to go ahead and say no to this because the Calamity bosses are generally much more difficult than the standard bosses. I would say if you can take out the Eater of Worlds and the Brain of Cthulhu, then you can take out the Desert Scourge. So I'm going to go ahead and head over to my Desert Scourge arena, and I'll jump cut and see you there. Alright, I'm back. So this is my Desert Scourge arena. I added the water candles afterwards to farm out the whatchamacallit, the sand elementals, because you need, at least in Calamity, they drop more than just forbidden fragments. They make some of the best and it makes this, but I might get into that later, but for now, boss time. So, in order to summon the Desert Scourge, you need to use a Desert Medallion in the desert biome. And it needs sand blocks, antlion mandibles, cactus, and storm lion mandibles. Storm lions are basically an upgraded, tankier antlion charger. However, they are also slower, and they will rarely, well, I'll say they will uncommonly spawn in the underground desert. As you can see, my desert has been taken over by the corruption, but hey, that's fine with me. Ooh, now we can show off Earth. Ready? Hey, see? That healed me a lot, and oh. So yeah, Earth is really good. Flame meteor, the red meteors explode, yellow, blue meteors freeze, green meteors heal even more. So yeah, as you can see, there are a lot of different shadow spec there are a lot of different things that use shadow spec bars. I'm gonna use all of them. Well, at least most of them throughout the course of this. I have a bunch of different weapons here. This is one of the best weapons to farm out the Devourer of Gods with. At least pre-Supreme Calamitous. But I'm getting off topic, which happens a lot. So let's go ahead and summon this guy. So this is the Desert Scourge, wherever he may be. Okay, there he is. So as you can see, he is a, well, whoops. That was my bad. Whoops. Okay then. Let's go ahead and take this off so that I don't charge into him again and die, and let's try this again. So, the Desert Scourge. As you can see, he's a fairly big worm enemy, and he can burrow only through solid blocks. So, because he's a worm enemy, you're going to want some sort of weapon that can hit multiple parts at the same time. Grenades, unholy arrows, basically anything along that line. Um, Another thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to build a couple rows of platforms like this, because vertical movement is incredibly important in this fight. You're going to want to make it a lot longer than it is right now, because they recently changed him to be much, much longer than he was previously. But the idea still applies. You're going to want a big arena like this in order to have plenty of room to dodge around, and you're going to want at least a little bit of vertical movement, even if it's just a cloud in a bottle. And apparently he also drops angler items or fishing items, which actually that's really handy. So yeah, he's a big worm. Use worm strategies basically. So vertical movement, which you can ideally, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to get him into some sort of pattern that allows you to easily dodge and move around. But like I said, you're going to want some form of vertical movement, no matter how minimal it is. So yeah, that's the Desert Scourge. One boss down, a couple more to go. So next one is Crabulon, which I'm trying to video here, dude. Stop it. Which you need to use that inside of a mushroom biome. And in order to make that, you need 25 glowing mushrooms and an anvil. We're going to do another jump cut, and I'll be back when I'm in my mushroom biome. So, we're here in the mushroom biome. I made a small mistake in my last video with the ores. Eulabloom spawns during hard mode at some point, and it can spawn anywhere. However, wait, it might only spawn in places with mud blocks. I'm not sure about that, but I know that. Hang on. Let me take a quick look. Okay. So I think it just spawns anywhere with mud blocks. However, the jungle is just so massive with so many mud blocks. It's kind of... Oh. This is a mini boss, the Earth Elemental. And it's practically useless, so don't worry if you don't get it. So yeah, this is a horrible mushroom biome, by the way, but whatever. I don't really have much of a choice, because I don't really have many other mushroom biomes. So, yeah, that's Crabulon. I think I have an accessory. I think this accessory accidentally makes Crabulon... Okay, no. Alright, so something interesting about Crabulon is he's actually a friendly NPC. He won't attack you until you attack him. And normally... Yeah, see? And dead. Well, wait, not yet. So, he basically just shoots out all sorts of mushroom stuff at you and charges after you. But, yeah. I actually think that he might be easier than the Desert Scourge, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I've actually, I don't remember what's in the Crabulon treasure bags, so let's open one up. Um, Fungal clump. Okay. Okay, so Crabulon is basically useless, and you can ignore him unless you want to check off the entirety of the boss checklist if you have that installed. So next up is the hive mind or the perforator. So another jump cut, and I'll see you there. Alright, so we're back in my Desert Scourge arena, which I'm actually lucky that it got taken into the corruption because um, this is similar to the arena that you want when you're fighting the Desert Scourge. Again, it's not perfect. If I were to remake it, I would um, up basically just like add another row or something and really extend it because you need to move a lot during this fight because there is a lot of stuff coming at you all at the same time. So if we look at how to make it, you'll see true shadow scales. How do we get those? Well, you need to beat the hive mind. Wait, but how can I summon the hive mind if I need to beat the hive mind to summon the hive mind? Well, I'll tell you. So I have this really useful mod called the cheat sheet, and among other things, it can increase spawn rates. There is an item that'll do that for you, that has similar effects. It is called the Zerg potion. Oh, they finally patched that out. Okay, but um, normally what'll happen is every now and then you'll get a hive cyst. It does spawn, or it does show up under rare enemies. And if you see that, you need to kill that. And then once you kill it, boom, you get the hive mind. So the hive mind himself isn't really all that threatening. However, there is a lot going on in this fight. Unless you're... Actually, no. You basically can't stand still. He summons all sorts of enemies just to come at you, and he just sort of sits there. So, let's kill the poor chap, shall we? And I didn't mean to kill him that fast. So, what I was trying to do earlier was I was trying to get one of the hive cysts to spawn, but I think they patched that out just because I cannot tell you how many times in my corrupted desert when I was farming for, when I was farming out, the sand elementals, I cannot tell you how many times I fought and killed the hive mind just because it spawned in. But yeah, if you saw there for like the split second that it was on screen, he does indeed have multiple phases. Sort of like the Brain of Cthulhu. So if we can avoid getting hit, I don't know what keeps hitting him, but whatever it is. You saw his first form earlier. This is his second form. He just sort of floats around chasing you aimlessly. I really wanted to show off this weapon, but I guess I'll have to do it some other time, because the hive mind is just way too pathetic. Oh, I forgot to bring it up, but I should have been doing this. So, I'm playing on expert mode, as you can clearly see. This is Desert Scourge. And each Calamity boss has an expert drop. This is not it. Quick Ocean's Crest. So yeah, there's that. And if you saw, it gave me all the materials that I need to make the Victide bars. So that's handy. So, as you can see, Hive Mind Mask. Here's something that's cool about the Calamity. It makes throwing damage viable throughout the entire game, which is nice. True Shadow Scales. Yeah, you can use it to make some pretty cool stuff. Another cool thing about Calamity is a lot of the bosses, the materials that you get from them can be used to make um, the materials that you get from them can be used to make their drops in addition to other things. So, see there, Perfect Dark, you can make that using his drops, which is nice. So I'm just gonna trash all this. I'm gonna give a shout out to this weapon because I really like it. It's a really cool weapon. But yeah, other than that, so if you will, actually, it's gonna take about 5 seconds, so I'm not gonna bother with a jump cut, but I'm just gonna change it over to corruption, or from corruption to crimson, and then once it switches over, we can fight the perforated hive, which is the crimson version of that, the hive mind. It spawns in the same way, so you can just yeah, finding assist in the world's evil biome. So in the crimson or in the corruption, and I need to crimsonify this more. Okay. We should be good about now-ish. Come on. Anytime you want to switch over to the crimson, it's fine with me. Come on. I really should have done a jump cut. How is this still corruption? How? Okay, what? Wait. Okay, now it's crimson. So let's get rid of the red solution and grab some purple solution so I can turn it back to corruption, because screw you, I like the corruption more. So, like the Brain of Cthulhu and the Eater of Worlds, these two are counterparts to each other. You summon them in the same way by either making this using their materials or just sort of finding it somewhere. However, the perforated hive, the crimson variant, is much... Where is he? Where? Okay, there he is. Well then, that just goes to show you just how powerful these endgame weapons are. I effectively sneezed on him, and it absolutely eviscerated him. So this right here is the exclusive drop from him, like the true shadow scales, sort of. And you can make his drops from it. Basically the same as the true shadow scales. Yeah. This and stuff and things. Now what's cool is you can combine the crimson from one boss. You can combine the opposite biomes. Okay, just look at this recipe. I really, I'm, words can't, yeah, but, yeah. And it does that with the what's-his-face, too. Let me just, I keep forgetting to open the treasure bags. I'm sorry if this seems to be dragging on, but I'm tired. I'm just kind of bleh. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, yeah, you can combine the crimson from one and the corruption from another to make a new accessory. It has lesser results than each one by itself. However, it is still pretty powerful. So perforated hive, yeah, I don't really know much about this boss because my world's corruption, and I didn't really fight him a whole lot. He does a thing and stuff. I'm just going to, okay. And then once he reaches a certain health threshold, he'll spawn a handful of these worm dudes. He'll spawn 3 of them, small, medium, and large. And they drop vertebrae and crimtane and all that stuff. So even if you don't beat the boss, you can still get some of the rewards. Again, sort of like with the Brand of Cthulhu, which I think is nice. So yeah, that's the bloody worm food and the perforated hive. So let me do another jump cut as I fix my world, and then we'll go to the last of the pre-hard mode bosses, which is the slime god. Alright, I'm back. I realized while I was off camera, I should have said, well, if you'll excuse me now, I have to go corrupt my world. I'll be back in a bit. That would have been funny, at least to me. Let's take this off so I don't instantly kill them. This is my arena. I used it to fight all the mechanical bosses, and as well as several others. Like, this is just my general arena. It was effectively this. I made this little home so that I could, like, trap the nurse and possibly cheese her, but that didn't work out, so I just sort of left it there. So yeah, I have a bunch of heart statues here, and heart lanterns and campfires and everything spread throughout. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm just gonna wait. I don't need to do that. I can just there we go. All right. So, next boss up, Slime God. It says to do it before the Wall of Flesh, but this was actually the first boss that I ended up beating in hard mode. So, like I said, the Calamity bosses are normally a lot tougher than the vanilla bosses. So, as you can see, there are 3 different slime gods. There's the slime god. There's the Ebonian slime god. And then there is the Cerulean slime god. This is basically a much more advanced, what's it called? King slime. It's 2 of them plus a little bit more. So, best advice that I can really give is just sort of keep moving. Don't stay in one place. Because your biggest problem... I'm Devilor and I'm 13. Sorry. But your biggest problem is going to be that orb. I can't... Alright, whatever. Your biggest problem is going to be that orb that just sort of follows you around. Because if it hits you, then you'll be stuck in place for a couple seconds. Sort of like with the vortex pillar. Yeah, see? And in this fight, that is something that you cannot afford to do. So yeah, keep moving. The one good thing about this is because of all the slime spawning, you're going to get a lot of health drops. So yeah, that's all I can really say. Just keep moving, and if you need health, um, just kill some of the slimes that come out of the slimes, if that makes any sense. Just treat it like a king slime. Also, you're gonna want your arena to be decently high because they can fly. However, they can only fly for so long. So if you can keep moving around them and dodging them, that's great. You should have aerialite by this point. So if you can, I would recommend making the pre-hard mode wings, the skyline wings, if you can. However, you need access to the dungeon as well as aerialite in order to do so. So you get a bunch of pretty cool stuff from this. I was post Wall of Flesh when I did this, so I never really got to experience this stuff when you were supposed to. However, what you really want from this guy is this mana overloader. It is incredible. It's basically necessary for any mage characters. As well as this purified gel. There's a lot that you can do with this. You can make this armor, which is incredibly helpful. You can make its drops. You can see Crim Slime Staff and Coral Slime Staff. They're the exact same, except one is Crimson, one is Corruption. At least that's the theme. Actually, it's funny, the materials themselves don't actually change. Look. Shadewood, wait. Okay, they do change. Never mind. And then you also need the purified gel in order to make the Carnage Ray and Knight's Ray. Carnage for Crimson, Corrupt, Knights for... Yeah, I can't talk today. You know what I mean, though. So, anyway, those are incredibly helpful. So you're going to want to take out the Slime God. Alright, onto the hard mode bosses. So we just beat the Slime God. We have Cryogen, Brimstone Elemental, Calamitous, Leviathan, Plaguebringer Goliath, and Ravager. And then we get into post-Moonlord stuff. So, jump cut again over to the ice biome.